Our inaugural question for George came from Hugo Smiley, and it's a very good question, I must say. He says, George, given your in-depth knowledge of all the teams in the EFL, very kind of him to say, do you price up matches yourself and bet according to where you find the value? And if not, why not?
So I'll answer this back to front. The short answer is no, and the reason is because of my job and this podcast and not having enough time to. But the answer that I should be giving is that yes, you definitely should. I mean, that is, at the end of the day, the only way to really approach betting on football or betting on anything really. In your mind, there should be a price at which any team is backable. We look at Sheffield United against Sheffield Wednesday. Even though I think that Sheffield Wednesday are very unlikely winners, there obviously will be a price that they get to. Say it's, 25-1, where you've got to accept that there's value there and you've got to back them. For me, in my gambling, because it's recreational rather than professional, I find that I just don't have time to write my own tissue, which is where you basically create prices yourself.
Resources needed there as well,
but not necessarily. Can you more or less? No, yeah. I mean, obviously, proper people, odds compilers and pro gamblers will have models from which they can create prices using algorithms. But you can also, you can do it objectively. You can look at a game of football and take into everything you think and come up with a price. I mean, you could ask me a price for next weekend's game, and I could just work one out. So in my head, I'll have one. So I'll basically do my work on the fixtures without looking at the prices. And without writing out a proper tissue, I'll then look through the prices and look for the outliers where I've been surprised. And that's where you have to find your bets. I mean, there are often, people struggle with this, but there are often bets that you have, obviously, where, if you're backing something at 11 or 4 because you think it should be a 2-1 shot. If you think it's a 2-1 shot, you still think it's an unlikely winner, but you've got to find the value. Short answer, no, I don't do that. You definitely, if you've got the means and the ability to price up games of football and the time, more importantly, accurately, and you can beat the market, then that's how you make money. But I sadly don't have the time to do so. But that is definitely the most successful way that you can assess whether or not a football team is valued to win a game, or whether a goal line is wrong or whatever.